Everybody hand salute. Everybody salute. Salute.
100 veterans from Central Coast of California and their caregivers are here. The veterans are in the blue shirts and the caregivers and companions are in the red shirt.
It's an amazing place, really. We were here before, so that makes it a little bit easier for us. But a lot of these guys that haven't been here before, it's a trip of a lifetime for them.
Well, we've been here before. We've been married 57 years, so we got married right out of Vietnam when he got home. And it's very emotional, very emotional.
The wall.
Yeah, all of it, but the wall especially is pretty hard to look at sometimes.
Well, I was started in 1957. I joined the Air Force. I was a guided missile technician for about 10 years, and then I went into calibration of test equipment. And during that time, in 1969, I went to Vietnam, and I spent the year of 1969 and came home in March of 1970, right after the Tet Offensive. And then I got out. I became a fireman in Florida for 3 years. And then I went back and finished out my 20 years and retired in 1977. And we moved out here to be with my wife's family, so the kids could be with them because they'd never been close to them. We heard about the honor flight about a year and a half ago. This is a culmination of a dream.
Hey, that almost looks like that could be you.
I'm very fortunate to organize with this group that I'm with. I'm so proud of it too. Thank you.
All right. Okay, right here, gentlemen. Look right here, and then you can take a look at all your family members and guardians here in a second.
I gotta say this, pretty incredible to be standing in front of all of you from the Central Coast, right here in this place right now. A little goosebumpy right now. Here we go, eyes at me. 1, 2, 3. Put your hands down.
Very enjoyable. It's a pleasure to be here. I've never been here before. I served in the Navy for 6 years, 5.5 years, and it was always a pleasure. Enjoyed my service and still enjoy being a veteran today. And I'm proud to say that I'm glad to be here.
What is it like being with fellow veterans?
It's amazing. Some of the stories, my stories are very, very small and insignificant compared to theirs because I was in the training command and I trained pilots for Vietnam. And their stories of being there are amazing.
Oh, it's very humbling. It's wonderful to be here. I'm with my veteran, Bob, who served on the USS Lexington, and my brother also served on the Lexington 10 years after Bob. And it's just very humbling to be around all these veterans and listen to their stories, and it's very emotional. So thank you.
It just means the world. I mean, he was almost not going to be able to come because of his health, and it's just something to be honored. And most of the time people don't talk about it, but to honor these veterans is to let them know how much our country loves them and appreciates them and accepts them. So this has been a beautiful time with all of his comrades and people that's gone through the same kind of thing, and here we are looking at all these people that sacrificed their life for us. So we're very grateful and very thankful.
So you recognize that here? Is that
My name is Tony Smith. I'm a Lieutenant Colonel and I'm representing Team USA.
How does it feel to be representing Team USA?
It's a distinct honor. It's a privilege. You know, I can't believe the amount of talent that's on the team, and I'm just glad to be a part of that talent.
What inspired you to join the military?
Honestly, it all started, I got a letter to play basketball for Army. At the time, I had no idea what I was getting into. And, you know, day one, I said I was going to quit. And then I said I'd quit tomorrow, and here I am 20 years later. I'm still in, but I'm super thankful for the choice that I made back then, and it's been a good 20-year ride.
What are you looking forward to going to the Invictus Games?
The biggest thing is just the competition. It's having this games to prep for and to train for, and to have something to look forward to on the calendar has been really beneficial for me. And then to actually be here and then in Germany to actually see what I can do after all the training. That's what I'm looking forward to, just actually executing, and then getting to see all the other talent that's out there in all the other countries, and all the other kind of hoopla that goes along with it.
How does competing help your own mental health?
Kind of going back to the preparation and the training, you know, if you have something to focus on, it's therapeutic for me. You know, I'm competing in archery, and being able to go in the backyard and shoot, you know, 30, 60, 90 arrows every afternoon or in the morning is just, you know, incredibly beneficial to my mental health. And, you know, personally it helps me, and then my family, I feel, notices a difference as well. So this all, you know, comes from, you know, this opportunity to compete at Invictus.
What are some of the things that motivate you?
Honestly, the other competitors, my family, like I try to represent, you know, where I've come from as best as I can, and then try to just keep up with the other competitors from all the other services.
What advice would you give your fellow teammates?
My fellow teammates, be patient with me. And just, you know, play hard and have fun. You know, I tell my kids the same thing. You know, we've gotten to this point that you're not going to be able to train anymore, so what you come in with is what you got. So, you know, just do your best and play hard and have fun.
Our first class, Lauren Montoya.
So, how does it feel to be representing the U.S. at the Invictus Games?
Oh, for me personally, representing Team United States at the Invictus Games, it's an indescribable feeling. I never thought that I would be in a position ever to be able to represent our country at this level, especially with an athletic competition. So it's a dream come true.
What inspired you to join the military?
I think I was inspired to join the military just from various family members that I have that joined the services, and it's something that I always knew I wanted to do, and it wasn't until I got to college and got tired of the grind every day, and I just decided, hey, it feels right, it's time, and so I joined.
How has competing and practicing helped your own mental health?
Physical activity is the key part of my mental health journey and will always be part of my mental health. It's the one thing that has given me my mobility, it's given me my quality of life, it enabled me to continue my military service on active duty, and so it's invaluable.
What are some of the things that motivate you?
For me, I am motivated by every single person that's on this team. I'm motivated by my other service brothers and sisters that aren't competing with me here, but I carry each person with me. I carry every team member that I've ever had with me, and so I wake up every day and I am motivated to get out of bed, to do the things, to do all the hard things, even when I don't want to, because there are so many people that can't do that, and they didn't have that choice. They don't have that choice, so that's a key motivator for me.
How does it feel to be co-captain?
I was shocked when I got the phone call that I was going to be one of the co-captains. It truly, I did not expect it. It was a wonderful feeling to be perceived as somebody that could handle that leadership role and the responsibility that comes with it. And so it was truly an honor, and it is one of the greatest honors of my life.
And the last thing I want to ask is, what would you say to your fellow teammates before the game starts?
Oh, well, I think I've been telling them already, but I just want them to go out and, pardon my language, but kick some ass and just show everybody what Team United States is all about, and that's dominance. So.
All right, so this is a North American P-51C Mustang. So the C model Mustang was the second version of the Mustang. The P-51A was the first version, and it had an Allison engine, which lacked a two-stage supercharger, so it wasn't effective above about 15,000 feet. We sold the P-51As to Europe, to England, and they installed the Rolls-Royce Merlin in the P-51, which had a two-stage, two-speed supercharger, and that gave the airplane the altitude capability that it needed to be an effective bomber escort. And so that was the genesis of the P-51B and C. The B model and the C model are the same airplane, except the Bs were built in Inglewood, California, and the Cs were built in Dallas, Texas. So this is a Dallas airplane built in 1942. The obvious difference between an A and a B or a C is that the air intake scoop on the B's, C's, and D's are below the propeller, and in a P-51A, the air intake scoop for the carburetor would be above the propeller. Another difference between the A's and B's and C's and the D model is in the wing root. They redesigned the gear mechanism in the D model, and they increased the size of this fillet right here to come to about here. So there's just a little bit more wing area in this a little bit more wing area right here at the wing root. I don't really think it changes the way the airplane flies, but it may contribute slightly to the fact that this airplane has less drag and is a little bit faster than the D model. There are two things that really made the P-51 different, and one is the water-cooled engine, and the other is the laminar flow wing. So if you look at this wing, it has the shape that might remind you of something, and that is a tuna. And so if you're trying to solve a complicated engineering problem, always look to nature. A normal airplane, the thickest part or chord camber of the wing would be at about 30%. In laminar flow airplanes like the Mustang, the thickest part of the wing is back here at about 50%. That means the air stays attached to the wing longer. It makes the wing create less drag and makes it more efficient. The most obvious difference between an A, B, or C airplane and a D model Mustang is the canopy. The A's, B's, and C's were a fastback or a razorback, and the pilots sat lower and there was less drag. In the D model, they raised the pilot seat up, they redesigned the instrument paddle to provide better visibility, and they placed a bubble canopy so you could see all the way around the airplane, better visibility for the enemy. The cockpit is laid out incredibly well, and everything is where you would want it to be, and your hand just falls to it. The trim console is right here. Your hand rests here when you're in flight. Power, it's close. As you're changing power in the airplane, you change trim. and so your hand can quickly move between the throttle and the trim console. The flaps are way back here at the back of the trim console. They're well separated from the gear handle, so there's no confusion to prevent accidentally retracting the gear on the ground, which would be disastrous. The cockpit just fits. This airplane becomes part of you when you fly it. It's incredibly responsive. If it has a drawback, and that is as you get going very fast, the ailerons become very heavy, real heavy in pitch, or in roll. But the pitch forces are always just what you'd expect and what you'd want. Again, the airplane is just a part of you. You wear it. The other thing that made the Mustang more efficient was it's a water-cooled airplane. So if you look forward at the engine, you can see it's very narrow. The airframe is basically the width of the pilot's shoulders, and you could never fit a round engine, a radial engine, inside of a fuselage that small. But the V12 will fit in that area because it has water cooling. So right in this area right here is a big radiator, and that radiator provides cooling for the engine, and so the air comes in the scoop on the belly, goes through the oil cooler down here and the radiator here, and is heated, and then this door is regulated to nozzle that hot air, expanding air down, and recover that as thrust. And they attribute about 15 horsepower in heat recovery to thrust because of this. It's called the Meredith effect, because of the Meredith effect. And those are the two significant differences that made the Mustang so much more efficient and gave it the range it needed to go all the way to Berlin with the bombers. And that was a turning point in the war. Another difference between the A's, B's, and C's in the D model Mustang is that the tail control surfaces are fabric covered. This is for two reasons. Number one, because aluminum was a strategic material, and number two, because fabric is lighter, and they knew that lighter control surfaces were less prone to flutter. They figured all that out in the D model, and they had enough aluminum, and they made it more robust by making them out of aluminum. As you can see, the engine's got 6 exhaust stacks on each side. They're very short, and they make a very distinctive staccato sound when the airplane's flying or just idling on the ground. It has that unique Merlin sound, which is so distinctive. Another difference between the P-51 A's, B's, and C's versus the D model is the A's and B's had 2 guns on each side for a total of 4, and the D models had 6. The A's, B's, and C's were a little bit prone to jamming because the guns were mounted on a little bit of an angle. And there's a lot of people will tell you that the A's, B's, and C's have a different wing platform than the D to compensate for mounting the guns vertically, but that's not true. What they did was move the stringers inside the wings, which gave them more room inside the wing so they could mount the guns vertically, which reduced jamming. The Mustang has an 11-foot Hamilton standard hydromatic propeller. It's a marvelous machine. It was, in multi-engine airplanes, it was the first feathering propeller, which allowed multi-engine airplanes to come home after they lost an engine. Obviously, it doesn't feather on the Mustang, but it's a big propeller, and when you add power, it takes a big bite, and you can feel it in the airplane.
Adam Bird, CEO and founder of Heroes Media Group.
So what inspired you to create the network?
You know, I had started podcasting in late 2012, had a different network, and ran that for 3.5 years, and it was veteran-based. And then in 2015, I transitioned over, and I wanted to open it up to community heroes. I didn't like the way people were consuming the media or how the media was being delivered. So I wanted to put a positive twist so we could hear more of the positive stories that aren't being told out in the world today.
So after the beginning, what was the next step?
You know, I think it was just sticking to it. I had more and more people asking me how to start a podcast, and I kind of saw a business model behind it, having some previous experience with another brand. So I just stuck to it, and I said, you know what, think I can make a living on this. And I've just kept going from there. And that was, like I said, 2015 is when I transferred everything over to this current platform, and I haven't turned back since.
I went on your website and I saw some of the different podcasts. How does it feel that you are giving lots of people their own voice?
You know, I look at life now as I'm a little more seasoned. That you have the opportunity to make changes, and I want to go a positive route. For years, I used to chase the dollar. It was always like living paycheck to paycheck and trying to figure out, how you're going to pay for this, how you're going to pay for that. And I realized I'm focusing on the wrong thing. You got to focus on your purpose in life, and once you focus on the purpose, then the profit will always follow. But it was a little bit of a challenge. But once I realized, and I made that mindset shift to just focus on the purpose, which is I want to be able to help other people get to where they want to go. That's what made me feel good. So that was the focus, is just making people feel good. How many people can I make smile today? Or who can I help generate leads for their business, or give them a voice and a platform that most people wouldn't have the opportunity to do otherwise.
What have you heard from either veterans or first responders about your network?
Thank you. I get thanked, which it's kind of weird. I don't think anything special about it. It's more or less like I'm just your average guy. I put my pants on one leg at a time, or I assume that's how everybody does it, right? But it's nice to get that every now and then. Just it kind of reiterates that you're doing the right thing. It keeps you focused and to stay on track. I do this not for myself. I do it for other people. And in a selfish way, it makes me feel good knowing that I help somebody get to where they want to go.
For you, with podcasts, what kind of podcasts help your own mental health?
Oh man, that's a great question. It's over the years I've seen different things. It's just different topics. I mean, we have such a wide variety of topics in podcasts, from environmental things that are going on to firearms and dirt medicine to philanthropy and entrepreneurship shows. So you kind of find a difference. And for me, I think what helps my mental health is just getting to know that I get to be a part of everybody's podcast on a very small scale. That's what helps my mental health.
And what motivates you?
Helping other people. It used to, had you asked me that question 5 years ago, I would have told you my son, he's grown, he's in college, so now I had to grow up. And I think the thing that really motivates me now is just trying to make a difference in people's lives in a positive sense, and helping them get to where they want to go.
And where do you want to see the network in the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Just a constant growth. I tell you, the 50,000 foot view is to take over mainstream media in some form or fashion. We didn't get to where we are in the world today overnight. It's taken years and years. I know that it'll take us years and years, or people like us years and years and years, to kind of slowly just change people's mindset and focus on the positive things in life.
How can people reach out?
Hey, great question. You can find us on social media at Heroes Media GRP, or visit our website at heroesmediagroup.com.